Hello everyone, my name is Rutika Patil. Today I am presenting PowerPoint presentation on credit card fraud detection system using machine learning. Next, these are the outlines of the project. Introduction, literature survey, objectives, need, scope and conclusion. Next, first is introduction. In today's world, credit card fraud is growing. Credit card fraud is defined as when an individual uses another individual credit card for personal reasons, while the owner of the card and the card user are not aware of the fact and that the card is being used. Card fraud begins with the theft of the physical card or with the important data like name of the card holder. Second is a card number, expiration date, CVV code, type of card, and this data associated with account, and this fraud is detected by using machine learning. Next, next is a literature survey. Title of the first literature survey is Credit Card Fraud Detection Using Machine Learning. It is published by ICICCS IEEE Explore in 2020, and in this paper the algorithm used are random forest algorithm and the AdaBoost algorithm. The result of the two algorithms are based on accuracy, precision, recall and FI score. Second title of the literature survey is Credit Card Fraud Detection Using Machine Learning Methods. It is published by uh, Symposium Infotech Jehorina in 2019. And in this paper, this research shows several algorithms that can be used for classifying transactions as fraud or genuine one. The results show that each algorithm can be used for credit card fraud detection with high accuracy. Next, the title of the third literature survey is Credit Card Fraud Detection Using Machine Learning Algorithms. It is published by ICRTAC in 2019. And in this paper, design and develop a novel fraud detection method for streaming transaction data with an objective to analyze the past transaction detail of the customers and extract the behavioral patterns. And the fourth title of the literature survey is International Journal of Scientific Technology, sorry, a review on credit card fraud detection using machine learning. It is published by International Journal of Scientific and Technology Research volume in 2019. And in this paper reviews different fraud detection techniques using machine learning and compare them using performance measure like accuracy, precision and specific the algorithm used in random forest algorithm. Next, next part is a gap identification. In gap identification, we discuss the situation after and before the project. Before the project, credit card fraud is a huge ranging term for theft and fraud committed using or involving at the time of payment by using this card. The only purpose is to purchase goods without paying or to transfer unauthorized funds from an account. To overcome this problem, we create a system using machine learning. Through this system, we can find fraud and detect it. Thank you. Next part will be presented by Mansi.
So now we have come to the proposed methodology. So the data set used can be downloaded from Kaggle. It's a data analysis website which provides data sets. There are 31 columns in this data set, namely V1 to V28, to protect the sensitive data. The remaining three are time, amount, and class, which represent the time between each transaction, the amount of transaction made by credit card, and the class represents the labels like value 1 in in case of fraud detect transaction and 0 otherwise. Then the data is minimized in sampling into the number of fraud transaction and the normal ones. The dataset is then divided into trained dataset and test dataset. Here we are using some supervised machine learning algorithms like naive Bayes, logistic regression, and random forest with boosting method. So if we use, for example, random forest method, so first we have to take random samples from the dataset. Then this algorithm will create a decision tree for every sample and will get the prediction result from every decision tree. Then the voting will be performed for every predicted result. So finally, the most voted result will be the final prediction result. After training is done, the testing process takes place and we will get the respective result for each algorithm and the performance is displayed in graphs. So the software and the hardware requirement for this project are for software we would need Windows XP or Windows 7 and Visual Studio, and for hardware we would require processor i3, hard disk, and the memory. So the impact that this project will have on social is the some of the positive impact is reduction in number of fraud transactions and increase in number of credit card users. It would also have some negative impact like an innocent person might be falsely accused if the prediction comes out wrong. Other than social, it would also have some environmental impact like for positive one, zero carbon emissions because it works on electricity, and for the negative one, the components might add to the electronic waste. Now Ankita would like to take up from this.
As Rutika and Mansi told, our project is depend on the credit card fraud detection. In this, the professionalistic practice to be followed, which is we are giving the credits to the guide who help us in this project. We also keeping the technical guidelines in mind, so our project will go in a good way. Also, we following the norms of engineering practice or for the outcome caused by one action or decision. Next. The other professional ethical practice to be followed is responsibility, which is we done our project on a complete daily individual task. A second is a more responsibility that is looking ahead to and caring about what happened to ourselves and the other self. And the third is the unity of our group member, which is more important. And norms of engineering practice to be followed is we have to check our connection or code double. Next. The result of the project is the budget of result is very low because it's not hardware totally hardware project, it's a software project, so there is no such a cost. In this project we use new technologies, which is machine learning using Python, which is a very new technology. And this project is very efficient, we can use it. And in future we have to improvement some techniques in the project to get more output from the project. Next. The conclusion, as we know, credit card fraud is a criminal dishonesty. In this is very useful model to detect the transaction is fraud or non-fraud transaction. In this project, we use many algorithms that can be used classify the transaction or in this project there is a more accuracy. The future scope, this is highly security in a bank and the other organization where the online transaction take place. As we know, there is a more online transaction held in future, less cashless. So and this is classified transaction into fraud and non-fraud, as we know. uh, and this is highly technology. In future, using the above algorithm, we cannot determine the name of the fraud and unfraud transaction, so that we have to implement some other technique to know that who done the transaction, or the transaction is a fraud or non-fraud. So next, the references we take is Rutala Silusha, uh, Dijen Varmejda, Vaishnavi Nath, and Suresh Srigev. Thank you.